everyone. Myself Soni Saxena is again here with a new topic from Geography Class 12th. Chapter 2: The World Population, Distribution, Density, Growth and Composition. So my dear students, when we talk about population distribution, then some common questions, they come in our mind. So what are those questions? That where and how are people distributed? Why is the distribution uneven? And what are the repercussions of this uneven distribution of population? So let's find out the answers of these questions. It has been observed over time that the distribution of population has direct relationship with the uneven distribution of natural endowments on the earth's surface. In the earlier times, agrarian economy, fertile soils with favorable climatic conditions used to attract people to reside. With development, the concentration of people gathered around mining centers of the world. So it can be concluded that people broadly like to live in places where agriculture is easily possible or in the areas of rich mineral deposits. So here, let's think about why do people prefer to live in certain regions and not in others? Yes, children, the population of the world is unevenly distributed. The remark of George B. Cressy about the population of the Asia is that Asia has many places where people are few and few places where people are very many. Is true about the pattern of population distribution of the world also. Patterns of population distribution in the world. The term population distribution refers to the way people are spaced over the earth's surface. We can say that 90% of the world's population live on only 10% of its land, while 90% of the land is home to only 10% of the world's population. A high percentage of people live in Asia, which has only 1/5 of the world's land, while the rest of the continents together share the rest. The 10 most populous countries of the world share 60% of the world's population. The population distribution within the continents is also not even. We have the example like in Asia, China and India, they share the largest percentage. Of the 10 most populous countries, 6 are in Asia. Density of population. It gives an average number of people per unit of land. Like we have the example that it denotes a relationship between the number of people and the total area of the region or country. It's a ratio between the number of people to the size of the land. So it can be calculated by the formula which is given here on the slide. So children, you can see that density of population is calculated through the total population divided by total geographical area. The world usually is divided into 3 density zones: high density zone, medium density zone and low density zone. Factors influencing the distribution of population. Children, there are several factors which play their roles in this uneven distribution of population on the Earth's surface. and they can be broadly categorized as geographical, economic, and socio-cultural factors. So let's discuss geographical factors, because they are again divided as availability of water, landforms, climate, and soils. Availability of water. Since the beginning, people they preferred to live in areas which were closer to fresh water. Water is life, and it's essential for our survival. So easy availability of fresh water, it is one of the most important guiding factors. Second is landforms. It has been observed that the human civilization started along the flat, fertile river valleys like the Indus Valley civilization, Tigris Euphrates, Nile, and many more. Just because of the fertile soil, plain land, easy access to water that is essential for survival. Plain land is always preferred to raise highlands or barren plateaus or swampy terrains. Coastal plains and river valleys, they are always preferred, like we have the example of Ganga Plain, Nile Valley, Huanghe in China. And coastal areas, they are always preferred over interior location. The coastal areas of the continents are all densely populated, barring a few regions. Areas with high altitude, like the roof of the world, Tibetan Plateau, they are very thinly populated. Even the higher mountainous regions like Asia, Europe, and North and South Americas, they are almost uninhabited. And these areas not only have extreme climate, but also almost inaccessible. Economic factors. There is a negative correlation between economic development and population growth. And this can be explained through the demographic transition theory. So children, I'll be explaining you demographic transition theory in coming slides. Let us understand the economic factors here. Availability of mineral resources. Mineral resources which attract people to settle for mining and industrial purposes. Mineral-rich areas like Ruhr Valley of Germany, Chota Nagpur Plateau of India, oil-rich countries like Kuwait, Katang, Zambia, Copper Belt in Africa, they have attracted people over the years. Urbanization. Cities offer better facilities. You know, children, like we have the infrastructures, job opportunities, entertainment, and the attractions of the city also. They all draw people towards cities, leading to migration from rural to urban areas. Industrialization. Attract a large number of people, as industrialization provides job opportunities in various sectors, right from factories, transport, banks, shops, and different institutions. We have the example of Kobe Osaka region of Japan, Hooghly industrial region of India. They are thickly populated because of industries. Social and cultural factors. Agricultural and technological developments, close links among clans, ethnic similarity, migration of people to these comfort areas, cultural heritage play a significant role in the distribution of people on the surface of the earth. Here we can discuss about political factors, historical factors, and government policy. So political factors, children, these political factors, they often play a very crucial role in the distribution of people. People generally move away from war-torn regions as refugees to neighboring countries. Even within the country also, people move away from the conflict zone to peace areas to settle down. Ethnic conflict and political war, they are responsible for movement of people from Balkan state, Palestine, Serbia, Egypt, Syria, and many more. Another one is historical factors, past history, legends, national religious bondage, influence, population distribution pattern, and growth to a great extent. Government policy. Sometimes government give incentives to people to live in sparsely populated areas or to move away from overpopulated areas. So I hope you understood social and cultural factors. Population growth. Population growth or population change, it denotes a change in the number of people of a region between 2 points of time. The change in the number of inhabitants can be both, either the positive or negative, and can be expressed in terms of the absolute numbers or percentage. Population change of an area reflects not only the economic and social conditions of an area, but also states about its historical and cultural backgrounds. Components of population change. The three main components of population change are birth, death, migration. Crude birth rate, that is also known as CBR. Yes children, CBR. It is the number of live births per thousand of population of a region in a year. Crude death rate or mortality rate, CDR. It is expressed in terms of number of deaths per thousand population for a region in a year. Migration. As you know children, this is a process in which the people they used to move from one place to another. So we'll be discussing more about migration in coming slides. Migration. So I hope the definition of migration is clear to everyone. Like people, those who move from one place to another, they are known as migrants, and the process in which the people move from one place to another, it's known as migration. Let's talk about place of origin and place of destination. I hope it's clear because in my previous video also I have already discussed it. So let us discuss it in brief, that when people they move from one place to another and the place they move from is called the place of origin and the place they move to is called the place of destination. Migration may be permanent, maybe it could be temporary or sometimes seasonal also. So it may take place from rural to rural areas, rural to urban areas, urban to urban areas, and urban to rural areas. Yes, do you realize that the same person is both immigrant or emigrant? So what is immigration and emigration? So this is a process in which migrants, those who move into a new place, are called immigrants, and that process is known as immigration. When migrants who move out of a place are called emigrants, and the process is known as emigration. So migration can be of several types. We have discussed that. Now let us discuss about the two factors of migration, that is push factors and pull factors. As the name suggests, push factors play their roles in pushing the people away from their place of origin due to lack of infrastructures, education facilities, employment opportunities, political unrest, epidemics, natural or man-made disasters, and so many other reasons too. In the meanwhile, The pull factors, on the other hand, attract the people in their place of destination with better job opportunities, housing, medical facilities, political stability, security, better climate, and other facilities for comfortable living. So these were the reasons of migration. Trends in population growth. In the early stage of evolution, the growth rate was very slow. Man was totally dependent on nature for survival. He was dependent on food gathering and hunting from his surroundings. So the limited supply from a given territory could support only a limited number of people. Around 10,000 years back, the most significant cultural change came in the form of agricultural revolution. In the first century, it was 300 million. The second most significant cultural change that impacted the growth of population came around the 1750 in the dawn of Industrial Revolution, with approx 550 million population, and it exploded under the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. The third major cultural and technological change that influenced the population growth came in the 20th century through medical revolution, which drastically brought down the death rate with the introduction of several life-saving drugs and improved medical facilities through better connectivity and paved the path for rapid population growth. Population doubling time. So let's discuss, children, what is population doubling time. As it sounds, time taken to double the population of an area at the current rate of growth is referred to as the population doubling time. For the world population, it took million years to attain the 1 billion mark, but it only took 12 years to rise from 5 to 6 million. Since the beginning of the Christian era, the population took 1650 years to reach 500 million. The doubling of population after that was very fast, and it took 200 years, 80 years and 45 years. It's estimated that the next doubling will take around 35 to 37 years, which will put tremendous pressure not only on agriculture for providing food, but also on other resources for providing the other basic needs of life. So here in this table you can see that doubling time of world population is reducing fast. Spatial pattern of population change. Population growth is low in developed countries than the developing countries. In a developing country with a large population, even a small annual growth rate will lead to a huge change in population. The developed nations have established their growth. The developing nations are yet to reach that target, and the population in the developing nations is bound to increase in the coming years as the proportion of their youthful population is high. Impact of population change. Children, you can better understand that what is the impact of population change. In order to have a growing economy, a small increase in population is a boon. But when it grows beyond limit, then it creates all sorts of problems. All sorts of problems like dearth in resources, infrastructure facilities, pollution, unrest, and many others. Both a very small and large population are a cause of concern. A small population may lead to lack of manpower for developing the available resources, while a large population put pressure on the limited resources of a country. So both the cases may lead to low economic development, and it's not only quantity but also the quality of people that matters. Demographic transition. The demographic transition theory, it gives us the relationship between the level of economic development of a country and its demographic characteristics. This model gives us well-documented trends of modern times over places, periods, and events. It also mentions the transition of a society from a phase of high fertility and mortality to a phase where both come down to low. There were stages of the theory, like stage of slow population growth, stage of the beginning of industrial revolution, stage of the late industrialization revolution. So here you can see the demographic transition in 5 stages. Now let us discuss about population control measures. The significant factor in limiting population growth and improving women's health is the family planning. Measures like propaganda, free availability of contraceptives, and tax disincentives for large families help in population control. Thomas Malthus, he states that the number of people would increase faster than food supply. For the sustainability of our resources, the world will have to control rapid population increase. Any further increase would result in a population crash caused by famine, disease, and war. So children, preventive checks are better than physical checks. Thanks for watching, children.